Check field. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday Morning New York versus
Oh, what a day!
Jenna Wolf, Brandon Marshall. Good day to you, Kevin Wiles. Forget how Bill Belichick should feel. How should our colleague, good friend, and always diehard Chiefs supporter Nick Wright feel this morning? Nick, buddy, how you doing, my friend? How are you doing?
You know, not great. I can't believe the rich get richer with the Dodgers signing Trevor Bauer. It just doesn't seem fair. They just won the World Series. I can't believe
That is where we're starting this morning. The big news over the weekend, Trevor Bauer not going to the Mets. Oh, you want to start with the Super Bowl? Well, let us do that. It is hard to believe, folks. It is truly hard to believe there was any doubt whatsoever about Tom Brady as the bona fide GOAT, as he delivered an affair to remember. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to his BFF Gronk, and his defense, that Bucs defense, did the rest with a nearly perfect plan to get after Patrick Mahomes early and to get after him often. Season low 9 points for Kansas City as the Tampa Bay Bucs wins Super Bowl 55 as Tom Brady wins MVP number 5.
It's been an amazing year. Amazing year. We got off to a good start, 7-2, and then had a little rough stretch where we kind of found our identity and played a lot better football down last December, January. And just really proud of all the guys, proud of all the coaches, the effort we put in. We knew we were playing a great football team tonight, and we got the job done. So you want to get this far, you got to get the job done, and we did it.
We were a very talented football team that nobody wants to give us credit for, but we're a very talented football team. We just need to believe. And the hardest thing is to build a culture where people start believing. And we started believing pretty early in the season, and we knew we were going to be a tough out. All we had to do was get in the playoffs.
No, I didn't see it coming at all. I thought we were going to come in and we were going to play these guys right, just like we've been playing teams, and it didn't happen that way. I mean, they did a nice job. I give them credit on it, but I didn't anticipate this happening. No, I can't tell you that.
I mean, obviously, I didn't play the way I wanted to play, but I mean, what else can you say? All you can do is leave everything you have on the field, and I feel like the guys did that. They were the better team today. They beat us pretty good. The worst I think I've been beaten in a long time. But I'm proud of the guys and how they fought till the very end of the game.
All right. So, Nick, obviously there's a lot going on here. Let's start with this. Last night's game, was it more about the Chiefs' loss or the Bucs' win?
I think it's more about the Bucs win, and before I get into why, I would like to give a congratulations to Arthur Sears Herring, who's finally off the hook. He's the man who wrote Dewey Defeats Truman, and nearly 100 years later, finally somebody has a worse take. And it's my last 5 years of Tom Brady takes. So you're off the hook, sir. I now take that mantle for not just the lead up to this game, but for the last few years. Because everything that Brandon said the Chiefs needed to be worried about, they needed to be worried about, and everything that I dismissed happened. So I want to give the Bucs credit because I don't think it's about what the Chiefs didn't do. I think it's about what the Bucs did do. And in this game specifically, and I know Brandon will go on about this, so I'll be brief on this part of it, it was about Todd Bowles and that defense, as you guys discussed last week. Big picture-wise, though, it is about Brady. And Brady coming to Tampa after his own team didn't want him back, after the San Francisco 49ers didn't want him instead of Jimmy Garoppolo, and after myself and, to be fair to myself, many others counted him out and laughed at him throughout the year, talking about his bedtime and forgetting the downs and the inability to beat good teams. They were 7-5. They went into the bye week, and they have not lost since. So last night was a tour de force, majestic performance by the Tampa defense. The season is about what Brady brought to what had been statistically the worst franchise in sports and brought him to the Super Bowl, Brandon.
100%. I mean, you can talk on and on and on about Tom Brady. We can talk about so many different things. Last night was about the Tampa Bay Bucs and specifically Todd Bowles in that front four. That defensive line was tremendous. Last week we talked about this. We went in depth about it. If Tom Brady plays clean and that front four can put pressure on Mahomes and stop the run, it's over. They have no chance. We start going back to the Buffalo Bills game in week 6, and we went into the playoffs. And what did we talk about? Well, they had the perfect plan, but they didn't have the perfect scheme. Now you have personnel, and you have Todd Bowles with the perfect scheme, and if everything comes together, this is the outcome. That front four was relentless. You look at the first half, what happened? They had to play run and they had to play pass. So that's why you saw Patrick Mahomes able to get out the pocket and pick up a few first downs here and there. But once they got the lead, it was lights out. Now you got the second half come around, and then you have this front four pinning their ears back and getting after Mahomes because they don't have to play run. And that was the difference in this game. We could talk about so many other things, but it all comes down to that front four's ability to get to Patrick Mahomes. You give that front four a lead, and you're not going to have a chance. Now they can do, all they have to do is just get to the quarterback. Wilds. It was a tremendous game plan by Coach Bowles, and that front four executed it perfectly.
Yeah, I thought Todd Bowles was a story. For everything that Brady has done in his career, I thought that when you see Superman flying around, you're like, oh, yep, that's what Superman does. But we had 2 Supermen this game, but only one had the kryptonite, and that's Todd Bowles had the Chiefs' kryptonite, so I think that was the biggest story. Nick, your guy, historically bad Super Bowl. His 4th worst passer rating in Super Bowl history, that's Patrick Mahomes. Your guy, Tyreek Hill. We were like, how many backflips is he going to do into the end zone? 2, 3? What do you think? Maybe he does a forward flip. He had 200-plus yards outside the numbers when they met up in Week 12. This time, just week 3 yards. Not great. And this was the most amazing stat. Dusty gave me this one. Patrick Mahomes was chased for 1,000,000 yards. That's a real stat, 1,000,000 yards. And I know everyone's gonna be like, how could we see this coming? We've seen Todd Bowles do this. Todd Bowles had the Aaron Rodgers kryptonite. Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, I saw it coming. When Aaron Rodgers had that horrible game, 2 interceptions, low passer rating, completion percentage low, that's all Todd Bowles, and we saw it again. So, Nick, I think the story here is Todd Bowles. I think he deserves a Super Bowl ring. I think he deserves half of Brady's MVP trophy. I think he deserves a job offer today. And I know you're going to say, like, well, there are no job offers. Well, you know what? This is me as GM. Hello, average coach? Yeah, we're going to let you go. Okay, Todd Bowles will go. We'll see you later. I think Todd Bowles is the story of the Super Bowl, Nick.
The stat that you said, 1,000,000 yards, the number is 497. Next Gen Stats had it.
Really?
That is the number of yards Patrick Mahomes ran on scrambles and sacks. Think about that. Nearly 500 yards either running backwards, side to side, back and forth, just trying to create time. And Brandon, they did it the exact way you said they needed to, which is without blitzing. This was the 3rd most blitz-heavy team in the regular season throughout the year. They were able to play 2 high safety the whole game and consistently get pressure. And I do wonder when Reed said he didn't see this coming. I don't think you picked the Bucs. You saw the blueprint. I don't think anybody saw total and thorough domination like this. I don't think anybody saw the Chiefs scoring 0 touchdowns coming. Though I do think if Andy Reid had to go back, a change he might have made is after the Fisher injury, instead of changing 3 offensive linemen, moving the guard to tackle, 1 tackle over to the left tackle, if he just would have simply switched out Fisher. You know what I mean? Had your 3rd string tackle play left tackle so the rest of your line can stay in place, because they didn't know who they were blocking. I understand the Bucs have an excellent front, but they were getting there. People were whiffing. They were getting there immediately, consistently, and that's why Mahomes was running for his life the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, they were that good, and you go back to their matchup in the regular season. Talked about it last week. The first half, Mahomes did whatever they wanted. They could have put up 40 points. Second half was the blueprint, not only to beating them last night in the Super Bowl, but also getting to the Super Bowl. They used that same blueprint, that same game plan from Week 6 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they used that against Aaron Rodgers. It was the same thing. So they was able to go out there a couple of weeks ago and execute it to a T. They brought that same game plan out, because Todd Bowles can be, sometimes he can get emotional and sometimes he can be stubborn.
To Arthur Sears Harris.